Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Highly Suspicious Podcast with Louie and Preston. My name is Louie.
My name is Preston.
We're reporting, once again, live from the trap house.
With an intro this week.
Yeah, you're welcome, you fucks. So, it's Complaintsgiving, officially, on the Highly Suspicious calendar. If you haven't ordered a Highly Suspicious calendar yet, you are fucking mistaken. Because you get promoted every holiday that we have. Also, we have a reminder for every single episode that comes out every single Thursday. Do you have something that you want to complain about?
I haven't been on my usual hater shit recently.
I am so born for this type of episode because I'm just a natural born hater anyways.
Yeah.
And the less I have to disguise it, the easier this shit is for me. Let's start off with what you just talked about. I do not like the Andre 3000 Flute album.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take? Maybe. Did you hear any of it? Do you have an opinion on it at all?
I think I listened to like maybe 5 seconds of it and I was like, I wanted to give it a try. And then I started it and I was like, this is not the vibe right now. I could not do it.
Can I tell you that I lasted a little longer than you did, but I had basically the same experience
reaction
of like,
not the vibe.
I'm not really in the mood for this right now.
Maybe the next time I'm meditating or some shit, I don't know. Some woodwinds.
That's what it's for. It's literally the type of music that you would play at like
yoga,
a resort. At like a remote resort location in the desert, it would be like
really immersive.
Here's my thing about instrumental albums, and people are afraid to say that this album is bad because it's Andre 3000, and obviously he's a goat, and all these other things about him that are true.
Yeah,
just because you like the person doesn't mean you like the album.
Yeah,
and calling something bad means that it's bad from your perspective, in your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say something's bad, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying that nobody likes this music. I'm not saying this music isn't for anyone at all.
No, there's definitely somebody out there who this album's meant for and could appreciate it.
Someone heard that and astral projected to it.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me understands that. But part of me finds the shit fucking boring. Because there's nothing going on except instrument.
Yeah.
And how do you make that interesting? Because you can make instrumental shit interesting. Have you ever heard Jay Dilla's Donuts?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's so fucking good about it? Every song is so vibrant, has so much personality to it.
You gotta
Every
make it really
song
dynamic
is so different from the last. Which is something that you don't get out of a minimalistic flute album.
Yeah, totally.
There's just no... I mean, if I was studying and I was one of those people that can't listen to music while I study, I used to be that person, but I think now I'm just stupider.
Taxes are stupid.
Here's why taxes are controversial. I think there's good of taxes and bad of taxes. I think that any sane person would tell you that there should be scaling for taxes based on how much money you have. Because it's not equitable. It doesn't make sense to tax someone who makes $20 a week, taxing them the same way as you would someone who's a billionaire.
Literally.
So any sane person would say that. But also, I get the perspective of not wanting taxes because it's bullshit because you have no say in what they're used for.
Well, and it's not like everybody uses every public good. Like, that's the big thing is, like, road maintenance, police, ambulances, fire department, whatever. That makes sense. But if you don't have a kid, like, should you have to pay for the schools in your area that you're not getting any benefit from?
Well, in a backwards way, you are getting benefit from because it's kids getting educated and growing up, and then they're going to be your doctor one day, or your firefighter one day, or because
that's a pretty roundabout way to look at it.
Yeah, you're investing in your future in a way.
But I definitely think
as
that,
gay as that is to say out loud.
I think that property taxes and shit like that. Somebody was talking about if I'm retired, how should I be expected to pay property taxes and shit? Like if I've already paid off my mortgage as well, then it's like.
But I still have to have a certain amount of money to live in this house.
Yeah, literally.
That's why all these celebrities live in this big ass party mansion, Playboy mansion at one point in time. But they have to move out of that shit because at a certain point they're not bringing in that same type of bread.
Yeah.
And even if, like you said, you paid off the shit, you're paying $1 million to Beverly Hills neighborhood property tax. And you do not have that type of jack if you're a washed up superstar.
Sort of retired even,
It's fucked up, man.
It's super expensive just to, exist, honestly. Just the fact that most people need cars and gas, it can just be a company's just what if we just crank this up because the holidays are coming up and everybody's going to be driving?
Well, there was this YouTube channel that I found and they explain it better than I can, but the YouTube channel is not just bikes. And so they talk about a lot of public transportation stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But basically, he was explaining that the way cities are designed, they constantly take on more debt than they can pay off. So the only way to pay off their debt is to just keep perpetually expanding.
Yeah,
which
so
takes
there's
out
more property
debt.
And more things to tax.
But those provide you income for a while. But then what we're seeing now is all the roads are breaking down.
Yeah.
And they don't have the money to pay for that. And the reason why cities don't have the money to pay for that, the government subsidizes new roads. The federal government subsidizes new loans, lets them take out loans for these roads at practically nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mutual bond is the municipality bond. That's what it is. That's the shit that they get from the federal government, but they do not get that shit when they're repairing roads. So literally the way the system's designed is for these banks to just perpetually own the politicians more and more over time.
Totally.
And the government and
I think
our
the
people.
fact that the government can have debt is just a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shows that the banks are more powerful than the government in a way.
Yeah.
Which is something they usually try to pretend isn't the case.
You remember that one meme where it's the total debt in the world being more than the amount of money in the world?
Yeah.
And they're like, who the fuck we owe money to? The aliens? The Martians?
Oh my god. It's just, it doesn't make sense. In, what world? Who is it even to, really? And it's weird because, countries have debt to other countries and shit like that. We have debt to China. I think that's where the real government's hate for China comes from, is the fact that we somehow have fucking debt to them. Yeah.
They own us. They own everything that's in this room.
Lightweight.
Because what does a debt collector do when you can't pay their shit anymore? They get the repo men on your ass, and they come into your crib, and they just take the shit.
Literally.
Now, why China can't do that is because if we weren't such an importing country, they wouldn't be as powerful. They rely on Americans to just constantly be buying all their bullshit that they sell us.
Well, and it's weird because it's all the companies based here at one point in time made shit here, decided we got cheaper labor elsewhere.
Yeah. The Chinese will do this for nothing.
Yeah, the Chinese will do this for nothing. Why would we do it here?
And so in that way, American businesses have fucked us all
Literally.
by doing that.
Literally.
Which we just had no say on.
Yeah.
And everyone
And nobody in the government was like, this might be a bad idea. Nobody stopped them. They were just like, yeah, sure.
I've been watching the 100 recently. And it's such a strange show in the way that it's just excellent sci-fi like gumbo. You know,
Like there's a little bit of everything?
Yeah, they're just throwing elements in there, and it's like, well, I didn't realize that this would be a story about how AI is infecting us in a post-apocalyptic world. But I mean, cool, whatever, just make it work. But there's this guy who comes to camp who used to be there, and he's trying to bring everybody to this city of light. That's what he's talking about. And the leaders in that show, they're worried about fighting the native like mutant ground
wildlife
people.
Yeah.
So he's like, if you just stay out of my way, then we're just gonna be good. I'm not gonna punish you for being a religious zealot or whatever. Then everyone gets the fucking AI in them, and that ended up being the big threat. And it's like the government, because they're like so focused on all this bullshit that does not matter.
Yeah, on like, I saw a homeless person. Oh no.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, okay, but what about corruption?
Yeah. What about the shit that
caused
is going
homeless
on?
Person to be there, huh? What about that? Our government's stupid. Speaking of which, I don't know if you saw this around, but this is our mayor's growing Louisville plan. Guess the current population of Louisville right now.
It is 700 something thousand, right?
It's a little less than that. I think we're
600 something thousand.
Definitely 600 something. I think we're on the
Do you actually know?
I looked at it very recently.
Okay.
But he wants 1 million residents by 2038.
Where are they coming from, Mayor Greenberg?
Immigrants, new businesses to bring people, into the area, so transplants, as one might say, and also like probably building more schools and doing shit to probably encourage people to have kids.
Yeah.
Such as universal pre-K, which is part of his plan. Which would, I would say, probably incentivize people to be like, it's easier to have a kid when I know I have universal pre-K at my availability. He wants a multi-million-dollar Belvedere renovation, which is like the waterfront that's right next to the museums and shit.
Yeah. By the Performing Arts Center and the Muhammad Ali Museum. All that shit.
And he wants a pedestrian bridge in Portland, connecting them to like New Albany. I'm glad you're laughing at that too, because all of the comments were like, "No fucking way! I would be caught dead walking on the fucking pedestrian bridge in Portland." Like, hell, nah.
So for my non-Louisvillians who are listening, I'm going to try to explain this in a way that if a Portlander hears this, they won't want to chop off my head. But basically, Portland's the white hood. It's in town.
It's white trash. It's very.
It's
there's
scary.
A good amount of businesses.
White people there.
It's my mom looked at a house there and we were like, not living here because there's a conservative flag flying right next door.
So basically the plan is to make a walking bridge from this fucked up part of town to the New Albany, little nice Indiana town right across the river. Do the New Albany people have a say in this?
They don't deserve that, honestly.
They
don't deserve people just pulling up.
They're like, just... Greener is like, you are a leech on what is Louisville anyways, that you've bastardized the word and invented a new word, Kentuckiana. You people are the growth on my ass. So be lucky that you're getting our Portland citizens for tourism.
That would be so whack.
That's so wild. Okay, keep going.
$100 million redesign on downtown streets So there is this sort of idea that one-way streets encourage speeding.
Fuck yeah, it does. I like it.
Exactly. It's efficient. It's a grid system. It's efficient.
It works. Don't fuck up what already works.
And
so what's he suggesting?
I don't know what,
Less
but it
one-way
will
roads?
cost $100 million. That's for damn sure. Means more lights, more roads, maybe some alleys get turned into like proper roads. I don't know.
Stupid. Next
and
one.
Then a WNBA team. Like no mayor before him has ever said, this would be a great thing for our city.
So here's the thing.
There's just no fucking way.
Saying that we should have a WNBA team is totally just a attempt at looking cool to the people in our city who are crazy about the women's Louisville team basketball. Because a lot of his progressive audience loves that shit. So that's clearly pandering to his audience without actually being... I mean, first of all, what's the plan? Are you calling up the WNBA and saying, let's expand in Louisville?
He's a wealthy dude. They would just be saying Louisville.
But why would we get a WNBA team before an NBA team? Wouldn't an NBA team indicatively be more money for our city?
It's a great question.
And I'm not saying, women first or whatever.
No, it's more
just
so
from a
why build a
business
whole stadium for women's NBA?
Yeah. Yeah, for what reason?
I don't understand.
You know what I think we should do, though? I think we should just use the Yum Center for everything. It is such a waste of space that 5 days out of the week, it's just
I'm
vacant.
sure that would probably be the suggestion.
That would make sense.
That would make sense.
But it wouldn't make a WNBA team makes it.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else we need to unpack there? What was the earlier ones?
So we started with 1 million residents by 2038. How many years is that from now?
15.
So how many residents is that?
So that's like 100,000 per year.
Yeah.
A little over.
That's
Where are these people coming from, Jeff?
Universal pre-K is good. That's probably the only one that I can agree with.
Okay, listen. Does any Louisville person genuinely want this to be a bigger, more populated city?
Literally,
or is the only reason I'm here because it's not,
I was about to say, what's like a normal
urbanized ass Cincinnati
population increase
per year?
Yeah, like maybe 3%,
if that,
maybe less. Yeah, give me an average population increase per year.
Okay,
at our current rate, I was looking through that too. It's insane. It's such an unrealistic goal for the current population.
So the most recent number is 628, which is from 2021, which is just lazy on Google's part. That they don't have the... I mean, come on, Google!
What are you good for?
So, before that, in 2020, it was actually 4,000 more people.
That's crazy.
And then, from 2019 to 2020, it went up, like 14,000, which is a lot.
So we have a little... That's
not the 100,000.
That's an ambitious goal, because that's basically saying, like, the population doesn't decrease for the next 15 years at all.
How much do you think the population changed from 2018 to 2019?
I could not begin to guess.
It went down 400 people, and that's it. So from 2019 to 2020, it's a 14,000 difference, and from 18 to 19, I guess people are just cycling in and out.
I guess, but that's still It's weird. I don't know. And I would agree. That was kind of my first thought is, what Louisville citizen wants this to be a bigger city?
And what does that actually help? How does that help our situation at all?
Literally. Oh, are we still getting fucking,
Dude Perfect World?
Oh my god, thank you.
Are we? I don't think so. Was it ever set in stone that they were coming here?
It's weird because they have... Oh my god, we were on the list and they chose San Antonio. Or, no, not even San Antonio. Frisco, Texas. That's great.
Damn, that's a nobody-ass Bergen, Texas. Kentucky's lacking.
Yeah, that was our mayor trying to lure them here.
See, we're hip. We have a WNBA team. Now
Perfect World.
Now you feel bad, Dude Perfect World.
Look at us with our 2 pedestrian bridges, a WNBA team, no one-way streets.
That'll show them.
And 1 million people.
I mean, fuck. We're doomed.
Right? Oh, that guy's such a chode.
Yeah, he is. I didn't like the last one either.
Yeah, me either.
I told you my story about him.
Yeah, I want a cool mayor. You know,
I'll do
TV
it.
shows always... Please. TV shows always have cool mayors, you know? They're always, like, either slightly corrupt, but, like, dumb enough that it's not, you know, really sinister. Or they're, like, chill, you know, barely even working, basically retired.
Can you imagine if I had hair like this and I was mayor and I just went up to the podium and I was like, yo.
Yo, yo. We in the trap house.
Okay, so this song that I'm about to play, I don't even know why I'm just so fixated on this song right now.
Oh, Lord.
But it's just so good. And it's also one of those songs where I have to play the music video with it.
Fair enough.
So if you're at home, usually I recommend people to listen to the shit, but you need to watch the video for this to really
hit and
understand what
yeah.
we be talking about. Because we're going to talk about this video as much as we're going to talk about the actuals.
Tell them how we met because you tell the best. You're the thing that connects my brain to my chest. It's 'cause I pray that I'll die before my baby. I'll take a risk if anyone tries to touch my baby. That's my my baby. I have secrets and yes I know you know too many. I stay at your house where I hope that you'll protect me.
I was not expecting a British rapper to pull up on this fucking song. That shit just caught me so off guard. So who the fuck is that? What did we just watch?
Before I even say what that was, I have to make you guess when this song came out. Because
2010.
2010, that's your guess?
That's my guess.
This song came out like a week ago.
You're shitting me.
This shit just came out. So...
There's no... They time traveled. That shit's from...
So, that video is just the most awesome, like, 2000s.
Just the MS Paint type transitions and shit happening all over, bro.
The animations on the screen. And I also think, you know, the whole thing of, like, the paper airplane traveling the world, I feel like that's a 2010-ass concept for a music video. Because there's no thought behind music videos.
It's really
anymore.
the dances and shit, too.
It's fucking bitches shaking ass on a boat. That's what a music video is now.
Facts. Oh my god.
I'm not saying that's necessarily bad, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, there used to be a lot of thought to music videos.
That's why it's indicative of 2010, because that's that era where it would be a music video of shit that had nothing to fucking do with the
Literally.
music at all. Just cool visuals. So that was Nice to Meet You by Pinkpantheress featuring Central C. So I actually thought about pausing the video halfway through before the Central C part.
Oh, really?
And then asking you what time period you thought it was. Because I thought that part did seem more recent.
Modern.
With the video, too.
No, totally. Like I said, that part caught me off guard, but, like, I'm not well-versed in the history of British hip-hop, so I know that, like, that shit, you know, could have been out before I thought that was more of a trend.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, yeah, for sure.
And for it to be like a, you know, mashup, that's pretty 2000s, too, to be like, what if we just, like, threw this person from a totally different genre on the track?
What if we put Eminem with John Lennon?
Literally.
But another thing that could have tipped you off if you heard it, the producer tag is like, and it's beat from Cash, not from YouTube. So Pinkpantheress is someone who's very hot and upcoming. She had a song with Ice Spice earlier this year. And I think this is one of those situations where I'm early a little bit on her. Because I think this whole album is like a week from hitting TikTok and just getting played the fuck out.
I could agree. That song would do so well on TikTok.
So, when I say...
I mean, her first shit's from 2021. That's wild.
And that, I almost think of that as like demos shit.
I mean, that's kind of what it looks like. It's a bunch of singles and stuff.
Yeah.
There's not a whole album built up.
So, I think it's interesting that I don't know where she's from, but she's gotten feature artists. Like, the features on the album are kind of wild because it's Ice Spice and it's Rima, who's, you know who Rima is, right?
I think so.
He's like a African melodic type rapper. And Central C, who's a British guy. And she also has Kalila on there, who's a really awesome contemporary R&B artist. I think from the States, but I'm not sure. But her album title is Heaven Knows, and it's like it looks like a picture you would see at someone's funeral where there's like the dove and stuff like that. And so she talks about death a lot on this album over these super poppy melodies and these hip-hoppy instrumentals. You probably didn't hear it that well because I don't know what's wrong with my JBL, but it just didn't get very loud for some reason. But it has a bass like a rap song. It has kind of the punchy drums like a rap song has.
Yeah.
She reminds me of like Post Malone, as weird as that is to fucking say.
Interesting.
Because Post Malone did kind of the same thing where he was not rapping. Pinkpantheress is not rapping here.
Yeah.
And it's kind of using a rap type of instrumental, and it also has a rap feature, and that's something that Post Malone would do a lot to make it seem more like a rap song. You would get 21 Savage on it, and it would be like, okay, this isn't that different. But she's talking about the chorus is, I pray that I'll die before my baby. And that's such a morbid thing that's often attached to romance, which is like...
Yeah, I couldn't live without you.
Yeah.
I'd rather die first. Yeah.
Yeah, which is... If you think about it, that's a
from a real couple perspective, though, like, that's really a thing that you kind of think about, though.
And in the same way as this song, it's morbid as fuck, but it's also... in a poppy ass sounding song, it makes it sound very positive.
Yeah.
In the same way it's used in real life, where it's like, I never want to live without you. That's what you're fucking saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds sweet, but you're also talking about death at the same time. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot.
You're all good.
Do you have any opinion on that?
I thought it was really interesting, honestly. It's crazy because, like, I'm just now starting to listen to a little bit of, like, British hip-hop.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I like that part of the song. I get, like, almost K-pop, Japanese pop type vibes from the, like, high energy, the way that she's, like, singing. Mm-hmm. Just that slight bit of auto-tune. Yeah. You know?
Mm-hmm. I can see that. The style she's singing, too. Like, very rhythmic and melodic, which is a K-pop thing.
Pretty repetitive, too.
I wonder if she gets inspiration from that now that you say that. She probably does.
I'm sure.
I don't even know where she's from either, so I think a lot of singers end up being British and they just don't sing with a British accent, which is the strangest thing.
I could agree. Well, it's the same thing where it's like there are some things out there where it'll like recommend singing in a British accent if you're American.
I haven't gotten too much into British rap. I'd like to get into it more because I feel like it's just
untapped.
I hear a lot of people say amazing stuff about it.
I've heard good stuff too. Yeah. Like, so I know it's out there, and it's sort of like how in my mind it's like you got your West Coast, East Coast, Midwest. Yeah, it's Atlanta based. More R&B,
different
rap.
Parts.
Yeah, it's all part of the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. I view it the same way, but so a lot of the exposure I get is off of stuff like this where it's British artists featuring on other shit that I come across as opposed to me actively seeking them out. Skepta with A$AP Rocky is a good example. I think another artist who's kind of similar to Pinkpantheress, it just makes me think of it in this song, is FKA Twigs.
She is British.
Pinkpantheress is. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. It's so hard to tell when singers are British, though. Is that just me? Or...
No, because they're exposed to American culture and like the American accent all the time. Yeah, it's way easier for them to do a convincing American accent than it is for, most Americans to do anything other than their regular speaking voice.
Yeah, I'm bad with accents.
It's just they're exposed to it more.
For sure.
And also singing wise, like it's probably more marketable even to not have an accent.
Yeah, for sure.
You're singing.
Damn, I didn't think about that, but you're probably right. But Central C on this was flowing. I woke up to my shorty crying. I said, "Nah, I'm not being unfaithful, baby." And somehow she still caught me lying. And then he says, "Long story short, we don't talk no more." And now she on TikTok doing story time, which I think is pretty funny. That's just modern day world where if someone's scorned by you, they're just gonna go to the internet with that shit. Like, people actually fucking care.
Yeah.
I guess some people are drama fiends and feed off of that.
Some people are, for sure.
But I can't force myself to care about some public gossip.
My big thing is, like, I don't even get how people are obsessed with celebrities.
Yeah.
Like, even though there are famous people that I like.
So-and-so broke up.
I don't give a fuck about their personal life. I give a fuck about what
my life is ruined.
What music they give me, what media they give me. If they're a cool person, that's great. If they're a piece of shit, that sucks. But if they're, in some drama, I'm not even going to know about it.
Yeah.
I could not watch reality TV. That shit hurts.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, straight-up idolization, You're like, oh, Snooki, you're so famous for being a piece of shit.
I feel like that's a dated-ass reference now.
It is, but,
That's not even really a reality show like that anymore. I don't think. I think a lot of people
Now it's like Keeping Up with the Kardashians,
loving hip hop and shit like that.
Yeah.
Down terrible. Down fucking terrible. I like fake drama. I like drama in a TV show.
Yeah.
That's different though, because you're telling that story in an interesting way, as opposed to hearing it from a news outlet and that being all their fuck it is. Okay, they broke up. Who cares?
Facts. Nah.
What's all else you hate, Preston?
Unfair labor practices. I do need to bring this up, actually, and I meant to bring this up earlier.
The Sunner
Back on our Sunnergas. Back on our hater shit. We boycotting Sunnergas Coffee out here because they've had a union formed from the employees for like over a year now, and they've refused to negotiate with them for an entire year. Basically,
Yeah.
They've also refused to get lawyers to represent them and said some outlandish shit in there by basically being like, I don't think this is a real job. And I don't think you should get paid like it's a real job. Basically, which is wild. And so now, like, it's to the point where people over there are ready to strike. So right now they're at the point of saying, like, don't support this business because they're not really having a discussion about our union contract. And if they don't change their act, it might come down to a strike, which would be crazy. Because that'd be a big deal.
So we're boycotting him now.
Yeah.
But it'll lead to a strike.
It might lead to a strike if
negotiate.
If they're not willing to negotiate.
Because it's been a fucking year, it's like you got to put a hard.
This just
line on
happened, so it might be like sort of seeing how long it takes for the company to be like, our pockets are hurting enough that we'll show you a little respect.
Yeah,
you know, because that's basically what the end result is make, if they don't give a fuck, make them give a fuck.
Kind of tangentially related, but still the spirit of what we're talking about. There's this old guy that I had to work with, and he once said something about talking about like service workers, and he said something like, you know, I went to college, so I don't have to do that job or something like that. Like, just people that look down on shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, who's gonna do it then? Are you
No,
going to pour your own coffee?
I saw something recently. Exactly. No, you should. You can.
If you don't fucking,
you damn well can.
Yeah. Same thing with food. Same thing with
no. My
anything.
favorite point that I saw recently was talking about like fast food workers and like fast food unionizing and like striking and wanting the fight for 15, but now it's kind of the fight for 20 because that's the real, you know, hourly pay that makes it affordable to live in most places in this country. And somebody was, you know, shitting on that because they're like, you know, I'm a construction worker. I put my life at risk at work. Why should a fast food employee make the same amount as me? And it's like, well, hey, maybe you should make more.
Facts.
Maybe you're also being exploited.
Yeah.
But also, why does somebody have to be doing worse than you for you to feel good about your job?
Right.
You know? Like, if that was the case, if you are a construction worker, you make $20 an hour, and the fast food workers start making $20 an hour, are you just gonna, you know, be like, well, I can't be making the same amount as a fast food worker, I guess I gotta go get another job?
Here's
Is it offensive to you, you know?
Here's my hot take. I think people should talk about their wages more.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think a lot of times people get fucked over and they don't even know it.
In
because
most salary
they don't
positions,
have
that is the case.
They don't have conversation with people because it's rude, because it's taboo, whatever.
It's not even rude. I don't even think... I think asking somebody how much they make could come across as rude. And somebody could take offense to that. But I think saying, you know, just it's kind of like a class consciousness sort of thing to say, we all work for the company. We're not the company collectively.
Right.
We work for the company. We should be open about how much we make so that the new people and the old people know how much. Because basically what will happen is like starting pay will be something, 10 years ago. Somebody will be with the company that long, and then there's new people getting hired on at a higher rate.
That's what I was just about to say. This one guy I knew had another job. I'm saying that for legal purposes.
Totally.
But this one guy was there for a few years, and he found out that this other guy who just got hired on was making more money than him.
Yeah.
Because he was getting 60 to start off with, and the other dude got 55.
Yeah, exactly.
And he literally went to management, and he was like, bro, I have to train these people, and they're fucking making more money than me. That's ridiculous. I would say
it's probably even likely that that's one of those situations where it's like, the starting rate was lower back when they got hired. They get their yearly pay increase, but then they keep it real hush-hush that the starting pay rate is increasing.
Yeah.
And then that's how situations like that sort of happen. Because they'll also have, like, pay caps in place.
Yeah.
So you can only get so many raises.
Before you get maxed out.
Yeah.
That's the point. You got to get a different job. You're like, okay.
Yeah, literally.
I can grow no more here.
Right.
Literally.
Well, and I think companies have a benefit of a turnover rate because then they're not, fulfilling people's pensions and stuff like that because
they don't fulfill pensions anyways.
But, if you don't stay there, like, you're not getting as much out of the company long term,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
By creating an environment where people are actually leaving pretty consistently, companies definitely get something out of it. Mm-hmm. They have your farewell party, but they don't, pay you overtime.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that. The fact that there are bosses out there just, like, saying straight up, work more and I'm not going to pay you overtime. Wild.
It is wild.
I have a friend that just had that happen, basically. It's insane out here. Bosses just think they can do whatever they want.
This was something that I was talking about with Xavion just earlier, but the way that workers are just completely squeezed for every dime that they can make, and you just have no free time, and everybody just has to live with that because that's just the way it is.
No,
exactly. I don't understand why people don't want to do shit on their own, because if you work for yourself,
I genuinely
you do not have to work
that's
any
probably the
certain
best
schedule.
Way to live in this country, because this country is trying to encourage people to do that, basically. But if you aren't, a capitalist in a capitalist society, you have no capital, so you don't benefit from the economic system in place. The only thing you can do is sell yourself, basically, and your time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the only thing that you have that is of value to corporations.
It's the only thing of value, period.
Yeah.
Is time.
Genuinely.
Time with loved ones, time spending things that you like to do, time for vacation. You notice how that's something that every, indoctrinated worker says, well, I get 2 weeks of time off for vacation.
Yeah.
So I'm so blessed that I get 2 weeks a year that I'm able to actually have fun and do anything.
No, that's what I like about, like, a part-time position like I work, because it is kind of flexible. Mm-hmm. Like, I can kind of just be like, all right, I'm good on my money right now. I'm going to just plan to take time off now. Instead of, because, like, in structured corporate jobs, it's really like, no, this is when you can actually use that time, too. Yep. Which is kind of fucked. Like, if they're going to give it to you, you should be able to spend that however. Like, if you want to do a week at this point in the year and this point in the year, instead of just like...
Well, I wanted to stay at this hotel, but they don't have an opening for the 1 week that I'm allowed to take off.
Exactly.
So, I guess I'll go fuck myself. I guess
I actually don't get to go on vacation.
I guess I'll go to Plan B.
Staycation.
Have you ever had a successful staycation?
Yeah, I'd say so.
What do you do?
Uh,
Because you always talked about what the idea that I think is stupid of paying for a hotel.
I think it's funny. I think it's fun, just the idea to do that for like one night, you know?
Yeah.
Because it breaks up the routine. So you don't have to drive anywhere, but it still is like what you do when you go out of town.
Yeah.
You know? I kind of just believe in the idea of like a staycation being literally say, I am not leaving the fucking house for this amount of days. I will go full recluse. I don't have to shower for nobody. I can
Full
be
goblin mode.
Yeah, exactly. No, because that's turning off such a part of your brain that's always there when you're trying to be a functioning human being.
Preston, that's the type of time I'm about to be on break.
Exactly.
I'm about to be a goblin.
Goblin mode. No, because just getting up and like getting ready to go be a person interacting with other people in society can be exhausting.
It is.
You know? So just having some time set aside where you're like, I'm actually not going to come in contact with the outside world for the next 2 days alone, that's a successful staycation. You know?
Yeah.
Don't even cook for yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
fuck it.
Just say, fuck it, I'm ordering food. 2 days in a row. Living life on the edge. Because I think like mental breaks like that, you know, because that's like, even then, you're not going anywhere. It's not a vacation, but you're not doing the shit that you normally have to do just to survive.
Yeah.
All your time can just be spent relaxing. No driving. No getting ready to go anywhere. No leaving the house.
It's funny that when I had more free time, the weekends would be a time to, you know, do stuff, get lit,
Yeah.
do what I want to do. But now a lot of times what I want to do on the weekends, since it's
Gobble
my
mode.
2 days of rest, I could just fucking, you know, I will have days like that where I
Veg.
just am super lazy.
Couch potato type shit.
Yeah.
Frozen pizza for dinner type shit. You know?
Yeah, it's I think that's important for self-care, being able to
Genuinely.
unwind. I think a lot of people don't really know how to unwind. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people think that drinking alcohol is unwinding.
That's worse.
Maybe
Yeah.
you should just do something that you like and that genuinely relaxes you and
No, the
brings
other
you
day-
peace with yourself.
I had played so many video games recently. I was like, I took a break to eat, and then I was kind of like, I don't even want to put video games back on. I think I'm actually going to take a nap. And that's so out of character for me. But I just kind of got the slightest I'm tired feeling after eating a good lunch. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to lay down with the dog and relax.
Turkey makes you do that.
Interestingly, it's supposed to be like tryptophan in the turkey that makes you tired.
Yeah.
There's more tryptophan in cheese than there is in turkey.
That's why I'm so fucking lazy all the time. I
Yeah.
fucking love my cheese.
Cheese makes you lazy. Cheese is my new anti-capitalist symbol. Fuck the bourgeois. Eat cheese. Be lazy. Closing
that's what they
remarks.
want you to do. They want you to eat cheese.
Don't pay for the cheese.
Take the cheese.
Seize the cheese of production.
Seize the cheese. Oh, fuck.
Yeah?
Is there anything else I wanted to bring up? I think there was. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Podcast recommendation for you guys.
Oh.
My favorite annual podcast. They do one podcast every year
That's crazy.
where they watch Paul Blart Mall Cop 2
Every year?
every year and talk about it.
That is
And
insane.
so they've been doing it since 2015 when the film came out. And so the day that this comes out, it's going to be 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's going to be their 9th
That is
episode.
insane.
They've almost been doing this for a decade. So, I think it's a very entertaining podcast because they're not like fans of Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. They just torture themselves every year by doing this. And
that's iconic.
They mix stuff up from year to year. Like, one of them decided to play Dark Side of the Moon while the movie was playing.
Like, on repeat?
And it perfectly, he said it perfectly was 2 listens through that the movie length was, and he thinks that the album was designed to go along with Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, that it was on purpose.
Somebody time traveled. It was like, here, watch this. Use it to inspire your
fuck,
next
I'm inspired
album.
as fuck right now. Have you seen Paul Blart Mall Cop 2?
Yes, bro.
Do you remember anything about it?
I remember the fucking what's the Mall Cop hoverboards? I remember him going to the Mall Cop convention.
Yeah, that's what it
was. And the segways.
In
oh my
Las
god,
Vegas.
segways.
And
Las Vegas Mall.
And he stumbles. The part of the movie that they talk about the most is where he stumbles into this garden and this old dude's just playing the piano for nobody, and there's this like
He's playing it for the plants.
There's this like ostrich in there.
Oh my
and
god.
it's beating the shit out of Paul Blart, and the piano player just doesn't even recognize that Paul Blart's there. And so they talk about how they make up like conspiracy theories about the movie. So the man playing the piano is the Shadow Man, and he's torturing Paul Blart for you've heard about like the Jungian shadow.
What?
It's like the bad side of your psyche.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
The piano man is Nega Paul Blart.
Yes. So
that's wild.
So listen to that. It's called Till Death Do Us Blart. And they've signed themselves up for a lifetime contract to do
that.
That
is
in depth.
Awesome.
Half the crew does another podcast called The Worst Idea Ever. They do that idea, the Paul Blart thing, but they do it like every week. And they do it for like a different movie every year. So they did like Grown Ups 2
every
year,
week
where they had to watch Grown Ups 2 every week and talk about it.
That's fucked up.
And it's called The Worst Idea Ever podcast.
That's like, dude, that's like, imagine how many things you would notice if you were watching the same movie every week.
Yeah.
For a year.
And I think part of...
Isn't there like 40-some weeks in a year?
52.
52?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. That's fucked up. I could not watch anything 52 times.
And then he also watched, they also watched Sex in the City.
Oh my god.
1 and 2 for an entire year. Hey, let me tell you, those movies are bad.
Yeah.
I've seen the movies. Okay? I've seen the show. I've seen a lot of Sex in the City in my life. The movies are so bad. And rewatching movies where there's just like no attention to detail, there's not a ton of things to pick up on.
Literally, it's you watch it once, you don't need to watch it again.
But something like, if you did that with Big Lebowski on watch 52, it would still be entertaining. You would still be seeing new stuff about it.
I could agree. Because there's also like, you know, it almost seems slower if you're really familiar with it, you know?
Yeah, you're like
this is nothing seems fresh. Yeah, you're kind of like, you're watching it, you're already expecting the usual scenery, so you're more likely to see the smaller shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's like a thought experiment almost, just to see
Social
what
experiment.
comes of watching something 52 times a year. That's fucked up. That's also like, you gotta have a day of the week every week that is, alright, guess I'm watching Sex and the City 2.
Yeah. Clear my schedule, secretary.
I gotta go watch a movie again. No, what if they just like... That's one of those... I want a theater to do that. Where it's just like, this movie will play every week for the next year.
They would create like a new religion based on that at a certain point. I think similar to a lot of indoctrination.
No, I think that Paul Blart one's gonna become a cult. That's gonna be the only thing that survives of humanity type shit.
It should.
The whole till death. Alright. Anything else?
I think that's everything.
I think that's everything too. Alright.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
you
Thanksgiving.
Fucks. Indulge in excess.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
this one chance. This is the one chance you have to indulge in
Winter
excess.
is coming. Get those free calories where you can.
Build up some fat storage.
Yeah.
You're not going to need that summer bod till at least April.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Alright. We'll be back.
Except if you're me and going out of town for a week in December.
Somewhere warm.
In which case, I'm about to look like a fucking hairless Yeti out there. God damn it. It always comes up so quick.
Straight Sasquatch. Alright. We'll be back next Thursday.
Look at how fucking big my feet are, bro. Like, isn't that kind of crazy?
That's actually crazy because I have big feet.
Yeah, both of our feet are big as hell. You want to see some really big feet, though?
The biggest feet?
I'm about to show you my dad's feet. We went to the chiropractor the other day. I literally took a picture of his feet because he's such a fucking case study. Look at how fucking big those feet are, bro.
It's
those
not
are
just...
flippers.
I was about to say, it's not just the foot, it's the toes, too.
Yeah.
It's literally the fact that, like, it's primal. It's like how we roast my grandfather because he's got, like, giant eyebrows, like the brow muscle, and so we'll just be like, that's just his Neanderthal, like, genes showing.
I mean, yeah.
You know? Just big ol' chunk of eyebrow muscle.
You want to know what the one thing I retained from biology class was?
What?
This is the last thing, I promise. If you can move your ears, if you wiggle your ears, that means that you're closer to Neanderthal than you are human, basically. You're basically a fucking...
That's crazy, because you know who can wiggle their ears? My grandfather.
There you go.
There you go. I can too, so...
Can you do it? You do it a little bit. I can't do it at all.
It's the muscles around here. It's really weird feeling. It is connected to your jaw.
I can't do it at all.
It's one of those, like, I can do it, but I can't tell if I'm doing it sometimes.
Yeah, you do it a little bit. Yeah, you do it a little bit.
It's like the tip. Yeah, that's some... Well, it's also like...
You're not that much of a Neanderthal.
If you have all your, like, molars and shit, that's some, you know, like, that's, what do they call it? Basically, like, how some people have tails and shit like that. Where it's, like, not really genetically, it's like the you have to have it on both sides type shit.
Imagine being a Homo sapien sapien.
Superhumans.
Goodbye, you fucks.